Okay.
It's like police where they've got the lamp in your face.
Yeah, man, this is so complicated. How do you do it? You got like 400 videos.
You just gotta
Be natural. Hi everyone, my name is Yunus. Today we're in my fish room and I'm going to showcase some of my Aquascaped fish tanks along with the issues I've faced throughout time. So stick around, watch till the end and hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, perfect. Nailed it. I just wasn't recording, so I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
That would have been good.
Okay, Yunus, so run us through the first tank here, which I think is an absolute palace for a few marble bristlenose.
This tank is 4 foot, 120 centimeters by 45 width, and then height 60 centimeters. It is a quite tall fish tank. The idea behind this fish tank was to basically just grab the plants, pop them in there and just grow them out and use them for my other scapes. So it's not really aquascape to my desires. Just got a little bit of a tree trunk inside there, going with some stones, and then I've mixed and matched a lot of plants in here. And the ideal is to obviously go with a couple of plants, maybe 3-4 different types, and obviously plants that complement each other. But there's over 30 different types of plants in here, which my favorite plant here is the Super Red, the Dugia Super Red. It's always been one of my favorite plants. So this is going to go through a lot of other changes, this fish tank in its life cycle. Yeah, that's this state of the 4-footer. The marble bristlenose is really loving life in here right now. They're just 3 of them. And there is other catfish in here, which are pretty much hiding. They only come out at night.
Yeah, one of those stunning grow-out tanks I've ever seen.
Thank you.
How long have you been aquascaping for?
So I've been approximately aquascaping for about 6 years now, and been in the hobby since I was like 16 years old, fish keeping. So I'd say, yeah, about 20 years. I actually started with catfish, bristlenose. I was really into them back at the age of 16, 17 years old. So my first fish tank that I ever built was based on keeping catfish inside my home, you know.
Has that changed now with the aquascaping? Because bristlenose especially, they can be a bit boisterous and
it's quite funny because I was actually thinking the same thing too.
They messed up a few of your tanks.
I thought you weren't going to ask. So actually, I'd say babies get along pretty well with aquascapes, but once they get to a certain level, a certain stage, they tend to uproot your plants and things like that.
Yeah.
So look, I try to always find solutions. I mean, I love this fish, and how am I going to keep them in my scapes? So what I tend to do nowadays is pretty much establish the fish tank, let it grow out, for example, for a couple of months, and then put the fish inside there. I've actually had some of them breed in my aquascapes, which was pretty exciting as well. So there was actually no caves or anything like that. I'm not a breeding expert. It is something that I'm actually thinking of doing next to complement my fish tanks, my aquascapes. But I've noticed, yeah, they've bred as well, and that was super exciting.
Okay, so next up, let's get started on this phenomenal aquascape rack that you've put together here, and tell us a bit about it.
So this is the one on the bottom left is the oldest fish tank inside here. Originally it was in the middle section. So I've got a lot of super reds in here, peppermints. I've got some albino bristlenoses, and I just pretty much nothing like scapes. Just pretty much put a few things together just to make it more comfortable for them. The one on the right is a fairly new fish tank which I set up. I think it was about 1 month ago. This fish tank here, I want to keep it very minimal as well, and also breed some of the bristlenoses. I want to breed the common ones. I kept the back section empty where I can just put some caves in there and then also remove them out when they lay the eggs. So I want to imitate natural habitat kind of thing that looks really well and flowing. So what I love about this fish tank is that I've got a lot of rumminos in here, and what they do is they come to the sandy patch over here, and they all pretty much like swim very close to the bottom at the lowest bit of the water. And it's pretty much like imitating when you walk at a beach, when you walk to a beach and then you see all the little baby fish just swimming by the shallows over there. Pretty much imitates that to me. So I'm quite happy about this. I can't wait to see it 2-3 months. And that's the River's Edge.
How long are you spending in here? Because
we should maybe ask that question to my wife.
25 hours a day. It
For
looks
me,
like.
it's not long enough. Like I said, I get lost in this hobby, to be honest with you. It's terrific. You know, keeping the glass clean and algae free. It's a challenge. So anywhere between 2 hours daily. So 1 to 2 hours daily. And then from there, on like a major, let's say have big operation in here where I have to do water changes and whatnot. And I do that very frequently as well. I'd say it takes me anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. And look, it's not the easiest thing to do to keep a well-established aquascape that you really enjoy, that you can sit down and watch for hours at end. But it's really, really relaxing. So yeah. So moving upwards to the top. So like I said, I had this one set up first, the 3 foot in the middle, and then I put the 4 nanos up top. Now with the 4 nanos is pretty much was an experiment for me. I want to just keep few hardscape along with few different types of plants, and I just threw things together over here. So we'll start, I think, with which one would you want to start with? This one over here?
Let's go with the left. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with the left. This is lava rock in here. I really love working with that stone. And by the way, I love working with stones, more of driftwood. Stones is what I really, really enjoy. I can sit there for hours just, you know, playing around with stones.
You don't have to wait for them to sink either.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, driftwood, you got to use
tannins.
super glue, then you got to wait for them to sink. I've had that problem sometimes where I just put, in the beginning, where I just put it inside and then I'm like, oh, that's a nice scape. And all of a sudden, I didn't know you had to super glue, and all of a sudden, I just see my whole scape just in the surface, and I'm like, what went wrong there?
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I learned the hard way. So with this setup over here, it's fairly new as well. It's in the grow out stage. I'm injecting it with CO2. That didn't sound too good, injecting. But yeah, so I'm injecting it with CO2, and we'll see how it goes in about 2 or 3 months' time. I want to go for something more pleasing, natural. Probably put like a fighter fish in here, you know?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, it's a scape that I can see it going very well with. Moving on to the next fish tank over here. This fish tank, this one here is very interesting actually. I want to imitate like a beachside kind of thing. Now, I don't know, maybe the viewers can pretty much comment on that and tell me if I did do a good job at that. It's still not complete. I do have some more stones that go very well with these stones. And I was pretty much thinking of getting into a bigger fish tank. Like for example, instead of a 40 centimeter, going for a 60 centimeter, and then building that beachside kind of thing that I want to go with. But right now, this is my shrimp coal tank as well, where I coal the shrimp and then I put them inside here, and they they're doing really well. They're breeding really well. So I didn't want to actually showcase this one at all. I want to actually put a cover on this, and I was going to say to Blake, this I can't show this fish tank yet because I'm going to make a video on this one. But I guess you will just have a little bit of a snippet. So I want to just imagine just a hardscape. I don't want to go a lot on plants on this one. So I want to create a little, you know, when you go to those pristine places and then you see like where you walk, you just sail in with a boat and you go
like James
cave,
Bond Island or something in Thailand.
something like that. Yeah. So I want to imitate that. I want to get fish that complements the scape as well, that suits really well with the scape. So it's not complete, this one. Again, this one must go into a 60 centimeter cube. Reason being is because it's got other pieces that I want to go with. For the time being, I'm just keeping it as is. This is just going to be a hardscape fish tank. It's not going to be, it's probably going to have 10% plants in there and 90% hardscape. But you never know, in the future, maybe some plants will work really well with this scape. I haven't decided yet, but hopefully I will share that with you guys very, very soon. So moving on to this scape over here. So originally I didn't intend to scape this one. What I did was I just pretty much threw pieces of driftwood together, and they're not super glued. Yeah, I just dropped them all together, and I want to create like a natural or a safe habitat for the placos to be in there, the L series. got quite a bit of a collection in here. So underneath here is basically all free for them to hide and feel safe and secure. Now they are babies inside of here. They will be, I will need to transfer them into a larger tank because it won't be fair to keep them in a little cube right now, but I just want them to be away from other bristlenose catfish so they're not fighting all the time and causing any stress. So this one grew out pretty well in terms of the moss and whatnot. I am thinking of, after removing them, to inject some CO2 into here and then to get the plants to grow out a little bit more, perhaps get a bit of a carpet. It's kind of one of my favorite ones inside the fish room. I really enjoy this one a lot. Hopefully you guys can comment in terms of what I could do next with this fish tank, because I like things evolving and moving forward in terms of the scape and in terms of the fish. Perfect. Give me some suggestions.
Sounds good. How did you get into aquascaping? What was your major inspirations, or did you just come across someone someday, or how did that happen?
So I guess seeing those aquariums with miniscapes, nanoscapes and all that stuff got me really interested. And the part where I first started, hunting for my stones or my gravel or, my hardscape was very exciting. And when I got them down packed and I've done my first scape, I remember it took me about 6 hours, and 6 hours I just lost myself. And I was like, hey, this is pretty entertaining. And one thing led to another, and today, so I'm well invested into the hobby.
Did it begin with like Kmart tanks or whatever? and I want to know sort of about the transition over time.
So my first fish tank was a 6 foot where I would put all your community fishes in there. And then from there, it went to a 4 foot. And then once I decided to move states, I ended up selling off everything over there. I pretty much started again with nano fish tanks this time, not so big, something more I can keep more under control, or in case I had to do another move. So moving on to the top shelf over here, I've got 3 fish tanks over here currently. This one on the far left is my guppy fish tank. I did a little bit of a scape in here with some driftwood and some serious stone. I really like this scape. It's actually one of my favorites too. I've got a lot of guppies inside here and they're breeding as well. They're doing really well. So right now, this fish tank, I'd say is about a year old. It's really hard to do maintenance on the top shelf. So I guess that's why they're doing very well and they're breeding.
Yeah, they left
because you can't tamper a lot with that fish tank. So we've got the 45 centimeter as well, same, but this one's an 88, that's a yeeting. This is one of my ideal scapes, is keeping only 2 different or 3 different types of plants and just, spreading it all across. This is a quite interesting fish tank, to be honest with you. I wanted to originally do something like going with a scary scape inside this fish tank, but I was too excited that I didn't get a chance to put the background on this tank as well. Yeah. Had I done that, it would have had the black background and then I probably would have achieved what I really wanted to. Yeah. But the interesting thing about this fish tank is there's absolutely no CO2 in here from the get-go.
Nice.
I did no trimming session ever since it's been set up. It's been set up for about 4 months now. I did initially face some algae issues in here, but I treated that. So there's currently no algae at all inside this fish tank. I just want to create that scary theme in here, which I pretty much achieved according to me, but still I could probably, like I said, put a background there and then,
I love the vertical wood. It looks very kind of mysterious and I just like the composition of this one a lot.
Yeah, so that's what I originally wanted to do. And then this one over here is just empty currently. I'm going to attempt in doing an Indonesian aquascape with this, where I see them all the time using a lot of tree trunks and stones and whatnot, and creating that nice valleys for us. So hopefully this is going to be an exciting one for me to work on. I can't wait.
What are your 3 main takeaways that you've learned so far about the hobby?
Oh, that's a nice question. The 3 main, so what I would suggest for the first one is that less is more. Start off small and then work your way up from there. because I've noticed along the way you learn a lot, and it's a learning curve. So you make a lot of mistakes and you learn a lot more, and you know how to do certain things in different ways. And so when you start with only a few or little or small, I guess it gives you the chance to do the next one better and the next one better and the next one better. So in this case, I think less is more. I think that's my main philosophy, my first. My second one would be don't overfeed the fish. A lot of complications, in my personal opinion, whether it's unhealthy fish or unhealthy fish tank or bad water chemistries or algae, which is all of our unwanted concern. That overfeeding should be in control. That's my second major philosophy. My third major philosophy will be, it's hard for me to even do this at times, but just, I think, sit back and enjoy it more than self-critique, more than pick out things that you're not happy with. I mean, try to enjoy what's at hand and what you've got, and then how you can pretty much do the next scape or the next stage. So this is one of the first fish tanks that I set up when I moved into this house. This fish tank over here has got a lot of memories with me, to be quite honest with you. This one here was a big learning curve for me, that I literally pulled out every single piece of the hardscape about 3-4 times, cleaned it, then put it back inside. I thought about restarting this fish tank about 10 times, to be quite honest with you. 10 times. I was like, yep, I was at breaking point. I'm done. I'm not gonna go for it anymore. I'm just gonna change it up. But what ended up happening is quite interesting. I got busy over time with work, so I let it go. This light system here has 2 light strips. So what I did was I reduced the light strip to 1. And then I reduced the lighting from 8 hours to 6 hours. I remember doing that. And then I lessened my feeding time and my feeding portions. I would feed them every couple of days rather than every day, until it got to a stage where algae was very minimal. Still is algae inside there, but at an acceptable level. It took a while. It just shows that you shouldn't really give up in things, you know? Like I said, really, literally speaking, 10 times, I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna redo the whole thing. I'm just gonna take out everything and redo it. And I just said, wait, I'll just stick it that little bit more. I'll just stick it through that little bit more, and that's the end result. Like, it just showed to me that, look, you shouldn't really give up. If you want to achieve something, you just got to work out the chemistry, you just got to work out what's going on, and then just try little small things. And in the end of the day, it turned out to be this. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed in my wild thoughts that it would have, turned out to be this good. It's a hobby where it's so interesting that there is just so many endless projects to do. Like, you start from, for example, your hardscape, and then you go to plants, and then you go to fish, and then you go to shrimp and snails, and it's never ending. And then, for example, marine as well, it's never ending. It's so interesting, so entertaining. It's a terrific hobby that I recommend for anyone out there. But start small. Start small, work your way up, learn, because as much as you pretty much watch people or read and so forth to get your information, the experience really adds to it.
No, great message. Yeah, definitely can't thank you enough for having me here today, and super blown away by what you've been able to achieve, and I'm excited to see you moving forward. So if you do want to see more of Yunus's stuff, check out his TikTok down in the description below. Otherwise, if you want me to come back and revisit, I'll pester him and we'll see what we can do. So thanks for watching. If you did like the video, it always helps me to hit like, subscribe and all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.
Thank you.